Welcome to Pine Tar Baseball. My name is Kurt Berglund. This is game number 5 in the Pine Tar Legends World Series between the American League and the National League stars of yesterday and today. Game 5 puts us in a position that I, for one, did not think we'd be in, and that is that the National League holds a 3-1 lead in this best-of-9 series. Game 1, very quickly, Game 1 was a 5-0 victory for the National League behind the pitching of Pedro Martinez. Game 2 was an extra inning win for the National League on an 11th inning sacrifice fly by Tony Gwynn, which scored Hank Aaron with the go-ahead run at that time. And then it was closed by Hoyt Wilhelm, the knuckleballer. Game 3 had the American League with their backs to the wall. They were down 2-0. Randy Johnson against Greg Maddux, and the American League took Greg Maddux to the woodshed and defeated him 8-1. The American League got on the winning side of the ledger in Game 3 and cut the National League lead to 2-1. But in Game 4, instead of tying the series, it was Tom Seaver versus Jim Palmer, and instead of tying the series, the American League lost by a score of 5-0 on the strength of home runs by Eddie Matthews and Joe Morgan for the National League. The pitching of Tom Seaver, who went 8 1/3 innings, was dominant in that game as he scattered 6 hits. So now we face a Game 5 for both teams. A must-win, really, for the American League. They don't want to go down 4-1 in a 9-game series and be forced to win 4 straight against an all-star team to be able to win. My prediction before the series, for whatever that's worth, was that the American League would win this series, maybe in 7 games, maybe even in 6. I thought the lineup was much better, but that has not proven to be the case, and the American League just hasn't hit, with the exception of game number 3. Today, we have a couple of pitchers that you're familiar with, certainly, going for each team. The first one for the National League is Bob Gibson. Bob Gibson, the star pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, is on the mound for his first start in the series. Remember that no starting pitcher can start more than twice in the series. And for the American League, after much thought and deliberation, the American League is going with Nolan Ryan on the hill to try and win a very, very important game. So it's Gibson versus Ryan. Now it's an odd-numbered game, which means that the National League is at home for this one. And the American League lineup goes as follows. Leading off in left field is Ty Cobb. At batting second in center field is Mickey Mantle. Batting third in right field is Babe Ruth. Batting fourth and playing first base is Lou Gehrig. Batting fifth and playing third base is George Brett. Batting sixth and playing shortstop is Derek Jeter. Batting seventh and playing second base is Eddie Collins. And batting eighth and doing the catching is Ivan Rodriguez. Batting ninth, of course, is Nolan Ryan. For the homestanding American League, much like their lineup, it's in game number 1. Jackie Robinson is leading off at first base. Batting second and playing second base, Rogers Hornsby. Batting third and playing center field, Willie Mays. Batting fourth and playing left field, Hank Aaron. Batting fifth and playing third base, Mike Schmidt. Batting sixth and doing the catching today, Johnny Bench. Batting seventh and playing right field, Roberto Clemente. And batting eighth and playing shortstop, Ozzie Smith. And, of course, batting ninth is the National League pitcher for today, Bob Gibson. All right, so here is Cobb stepping in against Gibson. The pitch to Ty. He slaps a fly ball to center field, and Mays is going to come in but make the catch. That's one down for the American League. Mantle. Mickey Mantle up second against Bob Gibson. Opponents in the 1964 World Series, of course. Fly ball center field, that's Mays again. 2 down. And Babe Ruth with 2 outs against Gibson. The pitch to the Babe. He gets one lifted to left, and that's Hank Aaron. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning for Bob Gibson. Leading off for the National League in the bottom of the first is Jackie Robinson. Robinson swings and slaps a ground ball to second. That's Eddie Collins. He throws over to Gehrig, and that's 1 down. Rogers Hornsby. Hornsby batting second today, playing second base. He drills one, and that's going to be extra bases. It's down the first base line into right field. That's going to be into the corner. Ruth is going to have some trouble getting it out of there and throwing it back in. Hornsby is on third with a sliding triple as the second batter for the National League. The American League, very interesting. The American League is going to play their infield in the first inning with 1 out. The pitch to Mays. Mays strikes out against Gibson. Against Nolan Ryan. That's Ryan's first strikeout today. And the pitch to Aaron. Aaron steps in with a last chance, maybe, to drive in that run from third. The pitch to Hank. He doesn't do it. Fly ball right field. It's going to settle in the glove of Babe Ruth, and the triple by Hornsby is wasted. No score after 1 inning. Lou Gehrig steps in against Bob Gibson, and he strikes out. That's Gibson's first strikeout. George Brett, maybe the American League MVP to this point, certainly was instrumental in the Game 3 win. The pitch to Brett, ground ball first, that's Jackie Robinson. He's going to flip it to Gibson covering the bag, and that's 2 down. Derek Jeter with 2 outs in the top of the second. Swings and lines a base hit. He's on. That's the American League's first hit. He's on with a single. And Eddie Collins. The pitch to Eddie. He rips one in the gap. That's going to split Mays and Clemente and go all the way to the wall. Jeter's around second. He's going to third. The third base coach is going to wave him in. They're playing aggressively here in Game 5. That's a test for Mays' arm. Mays has an elite arm. Jeter is being waved around third on the Collins double. Mays to Hornsby. Hornsby fires it to bench, and Jeter is safe with a first run of the game for the American League on a double by Eddie Collins. Ivan Rodriguez hitting 8th in the lineup today with Eddie Collins on second base and 2 outs. The pitch to Rodriguez is a fly ball to center. Mays has to move a little to his left, but he does make the catch, and it's 1-0 after 1.5 innings. The American League wanted to score first, and they have. Now we'll see if Ryan can hold it. Schmidt against Ryan. Hits a fly ball to left. That's going to be Cobb. And that's one down. Johnny Bench digs in against Ryan. The fireballer to Bench. Ground ball is short. That's Jeter, who's going to make the play to Gehrig for 2 outs. And Clemente swings on a Ryan offering, and that goes to center field. That's going to be Mantle. And it's a 1-2-3 second inning for Ryan. So it's 1-0 going to the top of the third. Nolan Ryan's going to lead off, facing Bob Gibson. The pitch to Ryan, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Gibson on the day. That brings up Ty Cobb with 1 out here in the top of the third. Cobb is 0 for 1. He swings against Gibson and lifts one to left. Cobb is not having a good series. The fly is to Aaron, and Aaron makes the grab for 2 down. And Mickey Mantle. Mantle swings and hits one to center. And this is for Mays, and that's 3 outs. A 1-2-3 third for the American League. We go to the bottom of the third, and the American League is still ahead 1-0. Ozzie Smith leads off in the bottom of the third against Nolan Ryan. Ozzie strikes out. That's strikeout number 2 for Ryan. And Hoot Gibson steps in. Not a bad hitter, of course. The pitch to Gibby is a comebacker to Ryan. And he'll make the play to Gehrig for the out. And it's Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson with 2 outs, nobody on. With 2 outs and nobody on, Jackie Robinson strikes out. That's strikeout number 3. And we're done in the third. The American League leads 1-0. Babe Ruth leads off the 4th inning against Bob Gibson. The pitch to the Babe is a fly ball to center. Mays has to run for this one in the right center gap, but he makes the catch. And that's 1 out. Lou Gehrig. The pitch to Lou is a ground ball at third base. That's Schmidt. Schmidt fires over to Jackie Robinson, and that's 2 down. And George Brett, 0 for 1 today. The pitch to Brett. He strikes out, and that is Gibby's 3rd strikeout of the game. Nothing for the American League in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and the American League is still in front, 1-0. Rogers Hornsby leads off against Ryan. Hornsby singles to left. He's 2 for 2. He tripled in the first. He's on first base with nobody out now, and Willie Mays is up against Ryan. The pitch to Willie. He strikes out. Nope, I'm wrong. He draws a walk. Willie draws a walk. That's 2 outs. 2 on with nobody out for Hank Aaron. The pitch to Aaron. We have a range check. It's our first range check of the game. It's a shot at third base. George Brett makes the play. He goes to second for 1, but the return throw from Collins is not in time. Hornsby makes it to third. We have runners at first and third with one out. Aaron's on first. Hornsby's on third. And Schmidt is at the plate against Nolan Ryan. The pitch to Ryan, and that is crushed to left, way back, and the National League has taken a 3-0 lead on a long home run by Michael Jack Schmidt. Ryan's going to have to try and shake that off and keep going. The pitch to Bench. He strikes out. That's strikeout number 4 for Ryan. And Clemente. Clemente swings and hits one to short. That's Jeter on one hop. He throws out Clemente, and that's the 4th. But the National League takes a 3-1 advantage on a long home run by Mike Schmidt. Derek Jeter leads off the 5th for the American League against Gibson. And Jeter hits a fly ball to center. That's going to be Mays, and that's going to be one out. Eddie Collins, who drove in the only American League run today on a double in the second. He's 1 for 1. The pitch to Collins, that is into center field. That's also for Mays. And he's got it for 2 outs. Ivan Rodriguez, batting 8th. The pitch to Rodriguez is a strikeout. Gibson with another strikeout. That's 4 for Gibson on the day. And we're through 4.5 with the National League leading by a score of 3-1. Ozzie Smith, 8th batter in the lineup today for the National League, leads off against Ryan. And Ozzie hits one to right, and that's going to be Babe Ruth making the catch. That's one down. Bob Gibson, Gibby, swings on a Ryan offering, and that is a base hit for Gibson. He's on. Jackie Robinson with 1 out and 1 on is in to bat against Ryan, and that may get some action going in the bullpen for the American League. Bob Feller is going to start warming up for the American League. Jackie Robinson, 1 out, 1 on. American League cannot let this get out of hand. 28 is a ball 4, and Robinson takes his base. That's first and second. Gibson's on second. Robinson's on first. There's 1 out for Rogers Hornsby, who's 2 for 2 today. This could get ugly in a hurry. The pitch from Ryan to Hornsby is a fly ball to left. Now Cobb is going to get there. Is Gibson going to try for third? He is tagging and bluffs and comes back to second. So with 2 outs, there's still men on first and second. Gibson's on second. Jackie Robinson's on first. The pitch to Mays against Ryan. And Willie, fly ball to center. That's going to be Mantle who makes the play. And Ryan gets out of the jam. It's 3-1 after 5 complete innings. Ryan is leading off, due to lead off, the 6th. And I don't think he's going to be allowed to bat. Wade Boggs going to try and get a rally started, batting for Ryan. Ryan went 5 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 2, and struck out 1, 2, 3, 4 on the day. But for now, Wade Boggs will be the batter. He is pinch hitting for the pitcher, Nolan Ryan, and he is facing Bob Gibson. The pitch to Gibby. All right, the pitch to Boggs. He draws a walk. And Boggs is on. Ty Cobb with nobody out. Ty Cobb facing Gibson. And we have a rare play chance. The pitch, or the rare play, is a passed ball. Gets by Johnny Bench. Don't see that very often. And Boggs waddles to second. So we have a man on second with nobody out. Cobb still at the plate. The pitch to Cobb. Fly ball to center. That's Mays. And he'll make the catch. Boggs will hold at second. Mickey Mantle at the plate against Bob Gibson. Gibson's only allowed 2 hits today. Mantle is 0 for 2. Mantle is now 0 for 3, a ground ball towards Rogers Hornsby. That's going to allow Boggs to get to third, but there's 2 outs, and Babe Ruth is at the plate. The Babe, the tying run at the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Gibson pitches to Ruth, and that is a shot down the right field line. That's going to be corralled by Clemente in the corner, but the Babe is going to stroll into second base, and that will score Boggs from third, and it's 3-2 National League, getting a little tighter. Lou Gehrig with Ruth on second and 2 outs. The pitch to Gehrig. And Gehrig laces one down the line. That's going to be in right field. Clemente uncharacteristically having trouble with it in the corner. Babe Ruth scores from second. Gehrig gets all the way to third with a sliding triple, and we're tied at 3. Brett is going to be intentionally walked to get to Jeter. First and third, 2 outs. We have a tie score at 3. Derek Jeter coming to bat. The pitch to Jeter is a fly ball to left field. That's Aaron. And that will retire the side. But the American League ties the game. We're going to have a semi-double switch here. Bob Feller is going to come in the game to pitch. And he will bat in the number 5 spot. Wade Boggs will stay in the game and play third base. So George Brett is out. And leading off against Bob Feller. This is his first appearance of the series, by the way. Leading off against Feller will be Hank Aaron. We're tied at 3. It's the bottom of the 6th. We're tied at 3. The pitch to Aaron is a ground ball towards second base. That's Eddie Collins, who throws to Gehrig for 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Mike Schmidt. Schmidt swings. He hit a home run in the 4th. But now he hits a ground ball to Collins. And Collins throws to first. That's 2 down. Bench. Bench is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. The pitch to Johnny is a ground ball to Jeter. And Feller has a 1-2-3 6th inning. We go to the 7th. Gibson's still on. It's Eddie Collins leading off. And we're tied at 3. Collins, the pitch. Eddie Collins draws a walk. That's going to get the National League bullpen going. Pete Alexander is going to start warming up for the National League. Ivan Rodriguez batting for the American League. Thinking about a sacrifice bunt here, to be honest with you. Eddie Collins is on first. They're going to do the bunt, and they're going to try and do it. Rodriguez is a 73 with the sacrifice, and he gets it down. He gets the bunt down, and that will be flipped from Robinson to Hornsby on the sacrifice, and it moves Collins to second base. Collins is a very fast runner. Wade Boggs stepping in against Gibson. The pitch to Boggs is slapped to center. Mays coming in hard and makes the catch. 2 outs. Collins still on second for Cobb. Gibson to Cobb. And Cobb strokes a single to center. It's to Mays on a hop. Collins got an excellent jump off second base. I beg your Clemente, sorry. Hit to right field. Clemente's got it. He has an elite arm. Collins is going to try and score with 2 outs. The throw is not in time. Cobb brings home Collins with a single, and it's 4-3 American League with Mickey Mantle coming to the plate. Cobb is on first. Mantle with 2 outs facing Gibson. Cobb is on first. The pitch to the Mick. He singles to center field. That's to Mays. Cobb will take third, and it's first and third for Babe Ruth. Gibson, they're leaving him in. The competitor facing the Babe. And a base hit for Ruth. That'll score Cobb. Mantle goes all the way to third, and it's 5-3 American League, and that's going to do it for Gibson. And Alexander is coming on to face Gehrig. So Alexander can have a double switch. Alexander will be the pitcher here in the top of the 7th. They tried to get Gibson through the inning, but it didn't work. The new catcher will be Mike Piazza. He will bat 9th. Alexander is in. He will bat 6th in Bench's spot. And so Bench is out. Ruth is on first. Gehrig is at the plate against Pete Alexander. Opponents in the 1926 World Series. First and third, 2 outs. That's Mantle on third. Babe Ruth is on first. 2 are in. It's 5-3 American League. The pitch is a fly ball to right. That's going to be Clemente. And Alexander gets the National League out of it, but not before the American League takes a 2-run lead at 5-3 on a hit by Cobb and a hit by Ruth, driving in the runs to put the American League in front in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and it's Roberto Clemente against Bob Feller. The pitch to Clemente is a comebacker to Feller, and that's 1 down. Ozzie Smith in the bottom of the 7th, facing Feller. The pitch to Ozzie is a base hit. Ozzie goes to left field with it, and that means that Cobb will pick it up and throw it in. Piazza comes to the plate as the tying run. The American League is going to get some bullpen action going. Let's see. The American League is going to get Dan Quisenberry up. And Eddie Plank. Dan Quisenberry and Eddie Plank are warming up for the American League. Feller against Piazza. Piazza is the tying run. Ozzie Smith is on first base. The pitch to Piazza. He blows it by him. That's 2 down. Jackie Robinson is due. The pitch to Jackie is a walk. Feller walks Robinson, and there's 2 on. There's 2 outs, 2 on, and that puts Ozzie Smith at second and Jackie Robinson at first. A couple of fast men for sure. Hornsby is coming to the plate, and that's going to be it for Feller, who went 1 2/3. Allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and struck out 1. So far, he has not allowed any runs. However, there are 2 on, and Rogers Hornsby is coming to bat. So Dan Quisenberry is being called on for the 2nd game in a row. Quisenberry is coming on here in the 7th. And Quisenberry will be part of a double switch. We are going to see... Wow, who are we going to take out? Nobody. We're not going to have Quisenberry part of a double switch. He's going to take Feller's spot in the order, and so he'll be leading off in the in the top of the 8th. Or at least his position will be in the order. There's 2 outs. There's 2 on. Hornsby. Excellent chance for the National League. The pitch from Quiz. Ball 2. Hornsby's ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch from Quisenberry. We have an error chance. An error chance for the American League. This could be dicey. 98 is right field. The Babe. The Babe is in right. He's on the run. He makes the catch and retires the side. Quisenberry gets him out of it. And so in the 7th, there's 1 hit and 1 walk, 2 left on base, but no runs across for the National League. Alexander is still in the game for the National League as the pitcher. Quisenberry's spot is due, and he will be replaced. Looking at a couple of pinch hitters, and Tris Speaker is going to bat for Quisenberry against Alexander. Leading off the 8th is Tris Speaker. The pitch to Speaker is a ground ball to short, and that's Ozzie. Ozzie throws to first, and that's one down. Jeter against Alexander. And he strikes out. Alexander strikes out Jeter, 2 down. And Eddie Collins, the hero of the day, maybe. 1 for 2, double, ribby, walk, run scored. Line drive, base hit, second hit of the day for Collins. Wow. Collins is 2 for 2. Rodriguez is coming to bat. He is 0 for 2 with a bunt, a key bunt, last inning. There's 2 outs. Collins is on first. The pitch to Rodriguez is a base hit. Collins is going to go to third. It's first and third with 2 outs for Wade Boggs. That's going to get action in the National League bullpen. Billy Wagner is quickly warming up for the National League, but with 2 outs and 2 on, Alexander faces Boggs. The pitch to Boggs, center field, that's Mays. Side retired. It's 5-3 American League after 7.5. Speaker will not stay in the game. We have a new National League pitcher, and that's going to be Dennis Eckersley. Eck to pitch the bottom of the 8th for the American League. Faces the heart of the order, Mays, Aaron, and Schmidt. The pitch to Willie is a ground ball to third. That is Boggs. And Boggs makes the play to first for 1 down. Hank Aaron with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th. The National League trails by 2. The pitch to Aaron is a strikeout. Eck gets him. And Schmidt with 2 outs in the 8th. Mike Schmidt is 1 for 3 with a 3-run bomb that gave the National League the lead back in the 4th. The pitch to Schmidt is a fly ball to center, and that's going to be Mickey Mantle, and that's going to be 3 outs. So, we go to the 9th. The American League leads by a score of 5-3. Alexander is out. Billy Wagner is on to face the American League trio, at least, of Cobb, Mantle, and Ruth. And if anybody gets on, it's going to be Lou Gehrig. In the National League bullpen are Trevor Hoffman and Carl Hubble. Billy Wagner will face Cobb here to lead off the 9th. Got to hold them where they are. Cobb against Wagner. Hits a ground ball to short. That's Ozzie. Ozzie flips, and Cobb is 1 for 5 on the day. Mickey Mantle is 1 for 4 with a single in the 7th. The pitch to the Mick is a base hit. He's 2 for 5. Mantle's on first. Babe Ruth coming to the plate. Billy Wagner throws gas. Babe Ruth is not intimidated. He's 2 for 4 with a double and 2 ribbies and a run scored on the day. Babe Ruth been a big part of what the American League has gotten done today. The pitch to the Babe is a strikeout. Billy Wagner strikes out Babe Ruth, and that brings up Lou Gehrig with the pitcher spot on deck. Lou Gehrig. The pitch to the Iron Horse is a ground ball to first. That's Jackie Robinson. He takes it unassisted, and Wagner works a scoreless ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Eckersley is out. It's going to be Mariano Rivera in to try and save it for the American League. Let's do some housekeeping here. Rivera in the series has pitched one time. He pitched the 10th inning in the extra inning game, game 2. He allowed 1 walk and 1 hit, but no runs. This is his second appearance in the series, and he's in to close it. Leading off is the pitcher's spot. Billy Wagner will not bat, and Rivera is going to face Stan Musial. Musial bats for Wagner. Leading off the bottom of the ninth, the National League trails by a score of 5-3. The pitch to Musial. Is hit deep. Rivera hung it. It's down the line. Is it fair or foul? It will be fair, and it's 5-4. Musial with a pinch hit home run off Mariano Rivera. Clemente is up against Rivera. 5-4. The pitch to Roberto. Fly ball to left. That's Cobb. 1 down. Ozzie is due. Ozzie will not bat. Looking for Willie McCovey. McCovey will bat for Ozzie. One out in the ninth, 1 run in. It's 5-4 American League. Mariano Rivera is on the mound. Can he close the deal? He's allowed a pinch hit home run to Stan Musial. The pitch to McCovey. Big Mac lifts one to left. That's going to be Cobb, and that's an out. Piazza against Rivera. 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 5-4. Piazza is the tying run. The pitch to Michael. He just hit one into the upper deck. Mike Piazza has tied the game. It's 5-5. What a classic we got here. And Rivera has choked up the save. Mike Piazza with a home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth has saved the National League for the time being. It's 5-5. Jackie Robinson is due. They're going to hit for him. It's going to be Ken Griffey Jr. batting for Jackie Robinson. American League is not taking Rivera out. There is no action in the bullpen. There's 2 outs. 2 runs are in. It's 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth. Ken Griffey Jr. facing Mariano Rivera. And we're going to have an extra inning ball game. Ground ball first base, that's Gehrig, who takes it to the bag. But we're tied at 5 because Mariano Rivera was not the Sandman. We do need some changes here in the American League lineup. So, let's take care of those first. Excuse me. Musial's going to stay in the game and play first base. In the 10th. William McCovey is out. The new shortstop for the National League is going to be Honus Wagner. He will bat 8th. And the new pitcher will be Trevor Hoffman, facing Mantle, Ruth, and Gehrig in the top of the 10th. Hoffman will bat first in the order. The American League, shocked by Rivera's inability to close this thing out. But Rivera will lead off the 10th, and he will not be allowed to bat. It's going to be Ted Williams to lead off. In the 10th, with nobody out. 5-5 score, the American League, top of the 10th. On a base hit for Williams. Williams is on, and he's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. The pinch runner is going to be Ricky Henderson. And Derek Jeter is at the plate. Henderson working on his lead. The pitch. And Henderson swipes second base. Hoffman facing Jeter. Opponents in the '98 World Series. The pitch to Derek. And that's a ground ball to third. And that will... Oh my God, Ricky Henderson just ran into an out. He was trying to take third on the play, but Schmidt looked to his left and made the tag. Jeter is safe on first. Henderson is erased. And Eddie Collins is up at the plate. Collins is 2 for 3 with a double, a run scored, a ribby, and a walk on the day. The pitch to Collins is ball 2. Collins is ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strikes. The pitch to Collins is a fly ball to right. That's going to be taken by Clemente, and that is 2 outs. Ivan Rodriguez is due, but he's not going to bat. There's too many sticks on the bench that can get the job done, and they're going to go with Yogi Berra. Berra will bat for Rodriguez in the 10th. Wade Boggs is on deck. There's 2 outs. Derek Jeter is on first base. The pitch to Berra. He strikes out. Hoffman works a scoreless 10th. Berra will come in and do the catching. The new pitcher for the American League in the bottom of the 10th will be Goose Gossage. Gossage has pitched in the series. He pitched 1 inning. I'm sorry, that's not true. Gossage pitched 1/3 of an inning, finishing off game number 3. And that's it. So he's pitched 1/3 of an inning. It was a strikeout. And he is on to try and hold things where they're at for the American League here in the bottom of the 10th. The order he will face is Rogers Hornsby, Willie Mays, and Hank Aaron. Gossage against Hornsby. Hornsby is 2 for 4 with a run scored and a triple. Hornsby draws a leadoff walk here in the 10th. So he's aboard. And Joe Morgan is going to pinch run for Rogers Hornsby. Morgan is on first. Let's check Yogi Berra's arm. It's a -4. Morgan's going to go. Morgan's a 76 after the -4 is deducted, so Morgan is a 76. And I just rolled a 77. Joe Morgan, you just got shot down. Yogi Berra throws out Joe Morgan, and there's 1 out in the bottom of the 10th. The pitch to Mays. Oh, and I dropped my die. 1 out in the bottom of the 10th. Willie Mays is up. Hank Aaron is on deck. The pitch to Willie is ball 4, and Gossage walks Mays. Hank Aaron. The pitch to Hank from Gossage. Ball game. I rolled a 2. And Hank Aaron hit one just north of the upper deck. The National League wins on a 2-run home run by Henry Aaron. It scores Mays. It's off of Rich Gossage. 2 Yankee closers have blown the game for the American League. Mariano Rivera gave up 2 in the bottom of the 9th on home runs by Stan Musial and Mike Piazza. And Hank Aaron hit a 2-run bomb in the bottom of the 10th and ended this one for the National League. The National League now has a 4-games-to-1 advantage in the series. Might be insurmountable. Let's do the totals and then figure out where we're at for the next game. For the victorious homestanding National League, 7 runs on 8 hits, and they committed no errors. For the game, but ultimately defeated American League, they scored 5 runs on 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 hits, and no errors. The winning pitcher for the National League is Hoffman. Trevor Hoffman pitched a scoreless 10th. He is now 1-0 in the series. The losing pitcher is Rich Gossage. He is now 0-1 in the series. And certainly a pair of goat horns can now be affixed to the dome of Mariano Rivera, who gagged up the save opportunity in the bottom of the ninth. The National League, as I said, now leads the series 4-1 in its best of 9. The next game in the series will feature the American League as the home team. The American League will be the home team in the series. The pitchers for that game will be Christy Mathewson for the National League against I'm going to do it. It's going to be Roger Clemens for the American League to try and save, or at least to keep them breathing for another day. So the opponents will be Matheson and Clemens in game number 6. I'm shocked. One more thing. Let's look at the power display by the National League. No home runs today for the American League. But for the National League, Schmidt, Musial, Piazza, and Aaron all hit home runs. Just way too much offense for the American League to handle. One more time, from the Kurt Berglund YouTube channel, the National League 7 in 10 innings. The National League 7, the American League 5. The winning pitcher, Trevor Hoffman. The losing pitcher, Rich Gossage. The National League now leads in the series 4-1 with a chance to close it out tomorrow. Christy Mathewson facing Roger Clemens. If you enjoyed this broadcast, please hit like and subscribe so that you can stay tuned. We have a lot of things in store for you for next week as well, or whenever this series happens to end. I have a feeling the American League is yet to be heard from at least one more time, but we'll see. That's where we're at. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.